Hello and welcome back to More Than a Business Live. My name is Mitch Case. I am going to be your host today. I am also the co-founder with my lovely wife of the business, More Than a Meal, where we help organizations strengthen their most valued relationships by showing gratitude and appreciation one meal at a time. I am so grateful for this show. We've had great feedback with people tuning in and having a good time and actually learning and applying some of the things that our previous guests have brought to that. And the reason that this is also possible is because of our sponsor, True Captive. If you haven't heard of True Captive, they believe in healthcare that is personal and insurance that it is not complicated. So if you want to learn more about this unique captive healthcare program, go ahead and visit them at their website at www.truecaptive.com. They have an amazing team, amazing ownership, and they will definitely be able to help you out. So I started this idea of the show with the intention to get to highlight wonderful individuals doing amazing things at great organizations that is really kind of highlighting, what truly makes their organization more than a business. So we're coming to you live every single Thursday at 3 p.m., except for this episode. This is actually pre-recorded because I'm going to be out of town Thursday at 3 p.m. and couldn't make that happen. So what you're going to be seeing is a little bit pre-recorded. But we're still going to release it on the date that we have always done. So Thursday at 3 p.m., make sure to check us out the following week as well, as we'll be bringing more to you. But today I am grateful and excited to introduce you to another wonderful guest that we get to talk with, Mr. Chuck Knapp. Sorry, not Knapp. I've got friends with the name Knapp. Chuck Knapp. He is the president and CEO at Jobs for America's Graduates Kansas, short for or long for JAG-K. So he is a dedicated leader committed to his students' success with a wealth of experience and a profound passion for education. Chuck brings valuable insights to his role at JAG-K. He is deeply committed to creating transformative opportunities for students, equipping them for their essential skills and fostering a sense of community service. So under his guidance, JAG-K helps students overcome barriers to achievement through in-school elective classes led by trained career specialists. So thanks to Chuck's leadership, JAG-K consistently achieves outstanding graduation rates with at-risk students exceeding 90%. Wow. His unwavering dedication ensures that students have the tools they need to thrive in their careers and beyond. So without further ado, I would love to introduce you guys to Mr. Chuck Knapp. Chuck, thank you so much for joining us in this pre-recorded session. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be part of it, and really an historic episode since we're recording. So thank you.
The very first live recorded show that we have done for More Than a Business. So again, thanks again, Chuck, for coming on. What we always like to do is just start with this impact story. What is something that JAG-K has done or you have initiated that has truly made an impact on a team member or potentially even some of the students that you get to serve?
Well, we have hundreds of those types of stories. This is our 11th year in Kansas, but JAG as a national organization is more than 40 years old. So across the country, we've served more than 1.5 million students in 39 states. In Kansas, in our 11th year, we're pleased that we've been able to help thousands of students prepare for successful futures. For me personally, it goes back to August 27th, 2014. I, for most of my adult life, was in public service, politics, government. I was deputy secretary of DCF, Department for Children and Families in Kansas, and knew of JAG-K. I saw the stats, I saw the graduation rates, the positive outcomes, and could see that it was a good program. But on that date, in August of 2014, I actually traveled with the governor. I was working with Governor Brownback at the time, or for Governor Brownback. Yeah. We were at Concordia High School and visiting the JAG-K program. Concordia was one of the first 25 high school programs for JAG-K. A student named Zach Roberts was talking about his life. And it was a tough one. He had watched his dad die in a horrible car accident when he was young. He had to get a job to support his family after he asked his mom to quit quit smoking, and she did, but then she started drinking and lost her job because of it. So he had to support his family as a freshman in high school. He started hanging out with the wrong crowd, down a bad path, a path that he described as a path to destruction. He was homeless. His mom kicked him out of the house because she chose her current boyfriend over Zach. He then was fortunately enrolled in the JAG-K class at Concordia High School. He started to realize that he had great worth. He had potential. He started to gain self-confidence. He ran for career association officer, which is one of the tenets of the JAG model. He was elected career association president. And on that day in August 2014, Zach told the governor of the state of Kansas, JAG-K saved my life.
Wow.
And that is when I truly understood the impact this program can have on not only students' lives, but their families' lives and future generations. And so a couple of years later, I had an opportunity to become involved with this organization and jumped at the chance. And so I'm entering my 8th year with the organization. But Zach overcame numerous challenges because of an outstanding career specialist. And those folks are our teachers in the classroom. They're the ones that are making a daily impact on these students.
That is just an incredible like outcome to honestly, like some things that we just don't think happen in our city at times, where I know that there's a lot of challenges that individuals face. And so often I just sit here and think, oh, we live in Kansas City. Everything's fantastic. Taylor Swift is coming to town. Travis Kelce's catching touchdowns for her. But the fact that like there are real systemic issues going on in our city that sometimes we don't get exposed to. And I'm raising my hand at times on that I don't get to hear some of those stories and the direct impact that your work can have on individuals, not just from an educational purpose, but truly like saving their lives. Thank you for sharing that story. And I'm grateful. And I hope that's had multiple impacts, not only on previous governors, but, even within your organization as well at JAG-K. So I really appreciate you sharing all of that. Have you been able to keep up with Zach through this time? How are things going now? I'm kind of curious now. You've mentioned this gentleman's name and I want to know where he's at.
Well, last I knew, and actually Zach and I met again a few years later. Zach went on to join the United States Army, had some amazing experiences. He was working with VIPs in the Army, so generals, members of Congress. He was in Hawaii for a while, came back to Fort Riley. That's when we reconnected. And I believe he's back in Hawaii. He is married and has at least one child. It's an amazing story. And, I'm just pleased that our organization, I had really nothing to do with Zach's story, but it had a tremendous impact on my life. And there are numerous stories like his.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Transitioning more into like talking specifically about JAG-K and what truly makes it more than a business, the values, the culture, the things that you're doing day in and day out to make sure that this is a place of desire to come to work, as well as a desired place to come and learn from that side of things. So I know you mentioned there might be an event that you would like to let everybody know about. So I'll let you kind of mention that real quick, and then let's just jump right into what truly makes JAG-K more than a business.
Well, for us, it's this Friday, and I get the honor of sitting in the Buck O'Neill seat at the K with the Royals versus the Yankees. I am representing this organization, this evidence-based model, the impact that our team is having on students. There's only one seat, so I get to sit in it, but like I said earlier, it's our career specialists who I wish we had 113 Buck O'Neill seats, because they're the ones that should be sitting in the seat. But the Royals organization has been great. They have granted us money in the past to support some of our Student Career Association activities. And so this is just a continuation of that partnership. We're expecting around 1,000 of our students and their families to be at the Royals game Friday. So this is a big deal for our JAG-K family.
Yes.
And so, we'll get our 2 minutes or whatever on TV, but it will be much more than that. We have students and families coming from as far away as Dodge City to that game. So we're excited about that.
Well, definitely if you're tuning in and you're going to be attending the Royals game, I don't know the rest of the schedule, but I know we're nearing the end of the season, obviously. Go up there and say hello to Chuck, I suppose. Well, I guess you're down in the Buck O'Neill seat, but maybe you'll find the rest of the crew, the 1,000+ people.
We will have a table in one of the concourses.
Oh, you will?
And so there will be some information available about JAG-K. Obviously, you can go to our website at any time at jagkansas.org, find out more about our organization, about our student success stories, about our evidence-based model, and how you can be part of the team.
Well, all right. So if you're going to be there at the game, make sure you go by and stop and say hello, and maybe you can learn a little bit more. But kind of alluding to learning a little bit more, let's talk about JAG-K. What truly makes it more than a business? I know you just shared the story about Zach, like that. Obviously has the potential to make this much more than a business, just hearing his story. But what do you see from your end?
Our why is we want all students to have successful futures. And right now we're working with those students who qualify to be in the JAG program. We have programs throughout the state. We have 113 programs. 107 of those are what we consider traditional JAG-K programs. They're in-school programs. We're an elective class, and we are teaching students career and leadership skills. We're teaching them the importance of community service, civic awareness, and we're helping them master 37 core competencies that are part of the evidence-based JAG model. I think one of the things that makes us different than maybe some traditional classes or programs is that we deliver most of our competencies through project-based learning activities. And so that in and of itself is another way that we're helping students learn about how to successfully work in a team environment, to solve real problems, to at some points realize skills they didn't know they had, like organizational skills, communication skills. And part of the JAG model is a student selection process that is intentional. So half of our students are in the bottom 25% of academic class rank, but 10% need to be in the top 25% of academic class rank because students learn from each other. The students in the bottom 25% may learn some study skills from those in the top 25, but the students in the top 25% may learn some real life skills from those that are not succeeding academically. We have students that 75% of our students are eligible for free and reduced lunch, but economics isn't the only definition of a student who may be at risk of not having success. We have students who have two parents and lots of money that are disengaged, that are maybe suffering some mental health issues that are barriers to their success. And so this model takes students, I don't know, you're probably too young, but The Breakfast Club was a movie about a diverse group of students who came together in detention. They seemed like they were complete, different people, and they realized they had a lot of commonalities. And by the end of the day, they were supporting each other. They were a family. That's very much what JAG-K is about. And then our students graduate and have skills that will help them continue to have success after their high school graduation. And then we have a 12-month follow-up period with all of our seniors. So we continue to come alongside them and make sure they continue on that path towards success.
So I've got two questions, and I'll ask, not together, I suppose, but, so often, I hear the complaint of, man, I learned how to measure or understand how many sides are to a parallelogram or an octagon, but I never learned how to do my taxes in schooling. So is it something where we're looking at like real practical life skills? I mean, that's what it sounds like, that can actually be applied to everyday life. Is that what JAG is truly focusing on with their students?
Absolutely. That's part of it.
Okay.
We focus on a lot of different, we actually have 87 competencies, but 37 core competencies that each student must master to successfully complete the program. But it's the basics of getting a job, writing a resume, interview skills, public speaking. But we have a financial literacy component. In fact, the state insurance commissioner, the office of the state bank commissioner, and the Kansas Bankers Association have all supported our efforts because of the work we're doing with our students on financial literacy.
Yes.
It is those basic skills. We also have a program for students in foster care. And also, we're the only JAG affiliate that has a JAG program in a state correctional facility for young people. So we have different competencies for some of those system-involved youth that you don't think about, like how do you get your driver's license? Because a lot of those students don't have a consistent adult in their lives that will help them go to driving school or, take them out for the drive or take them to the driver's license bureau. So there are things like that. And then just the leadership development. We have a club in each one of our programs. A lot of our students are not in student council or participating in other extracurricular activities. So this gives each of them something to which they can belong. They can run for office and they start to get self-confidence. We make them compete in events that highlight the skills they are learning in JAG-K. So we have what we call career development conferences. They start at the local level and you compete in public speaking, project-based learning, business plan, things that will allow them to display what they've learned in the program. And then if they continue to work, prepare, and move on, they can go to a national career development conference with students from across the country. Last year, it was in Orlando. Most of our students, it is most, don't generally travel much, don't get out of their home counties. And so to get on an airplane or even a charter bus is an amazing experience for them.
Wow. I love that there's just like the actual application of life, and both not just in like the competition side, but I also at the same time the competition side, because so often in life we are competing against whatever hardships we have, whether it's peers or circumstances and all that kind of stuff, to power through some of that adversity. So I really do love what you guys are doing. How, you did mention that you maybe have some companies that are partnerships with you. And maybe that's one of the answers to this next question, but really, like, what are some of the biggest challenges you have to make sure you have that curriculum ready to roll, finding the students to learn and know about JAG? Like, what are some of the biggest challenges you guys are facing that we want to know about when somebody listens to this?
The two biggest challenges are funding and finding people to teach our young people. We would love for every high school student, middle school student in the state of Kansas to have access to a JAG-K program. At this point, we're in 48 school districts in Kansas, including Kansas City, Kansas. Dr. Stubblefield and the board there at Kansas City, Kansas have 19 programs in their district. They have committed to helping their young people not only increase graduation rate, but have that post-secondary success. They added 11 programs last year. So we are finally at scale in Kansas City, Kansas, and really appreciate that partnership. But it takes money. We're subsidizing programs across the state, about 85% of the cost of each of these programs. The school districts themselves are picking up 14 to 15%. For us to be able to reach more students, we need additional funding. The The Kansas legislature and Governor Kelly have been great supporters. We're not entitled to anything. Most of our funding is public funding. It's either state general fund, or right now we're receiving federal TANF dollars, which goes through the Department for Children and Families. DCF has been a great partner in this. It actually started back in 2013, as I mentioned, with Governor Brownback. He brought it to Kansas. So we would like to be able to serve more students by having more funding. Our model is in place. If a school district will allow us to execute the model with fidelity, we know we will have success. This is not questionable. It has worked in all kinds of districts across the country, large urban districts to small rural districts. It will work if we're allowed to execute it. The other thing, though, is we need employer engagement partners. We need those businesses who want to come in and tell our students about careers, to tell them what opportunities exist. And we have a lot of partners, but we're always looking for more, for mentors, for folks that can come in and, just visit with students about what life could be. Their own personal obstacles they had to overcome. You alluded to this, but resilience is a really important part of what we're teaching our students. They understand that they have some barriers to overcome. I have barriers to overcome, maybe not as, pronounced as some of our students.
Right.
But we all have barriers. It's how we deal with those barriers that matters. And so we teach a lot about that. But finding the right people to be our career specialists is one of our biggest challenges. It's a tough labor market, and we can't just put someone in the classroom. They have to be able to build relationships. They have to be able to deliver this evidence-based model. They have to have a ton of energy, and it's emotional. I mean, it's a tough job. And we try to set parameters and limitations, but it's a tough job. It's a really tough job, but it's incredibly rewarding.
I imagine, just with the story you told about Zach at the beginning and the impact that you're having in helping these individuals, like you said, having life circumstances that maybe you and I have never imagined or experienced ever. And to watch the success rate that you guys are having with these students can be incredibly empowering and impactful as an individual in the work that you do. Because so often we sit there and tell ourselves, well, I want to go make a difference. I want to go help and serve, and I want to go and do this. And, that's not always necessarily tied with a large salary or anything along those lines. But the fact that you can have a direct impact while being compensated, it just seems like a really good opportunity for somebody that is looking for that. So I'll definitely make sure that we can get all the information to make sure they know how to connect with you towards the end of the show here. But, you're doing a lot of things. You've got your hands in a lot of spaces inside JAG-K. I know that not every single day you're going to be able to bring 100% of yourself perfectly and motivated and all of that. So I always like to understand, what truly motivates you every single day to show up and serve the individuals, both your teachers, counselors, as well as the students that you get to engage with, because not every single day is going to be the best day ever, but you have to continue to show up for them. What motivates you to do that?
Well, for me, it's my faith. I think that we all have a calling to serve others.
Amen.
I personally am a follower of Jesus. I believe he told us we need to love our neighbor. We need to serve others. And that has kind of been the calling for my life. And I've tried to do it in a number of different jobs. I think anyone can follow their calling in a number of different jobs. And so that, for me, is what drives me. I'm certainly not perfect. I fail often, but I try to treat others like I want to be treated. I know that I've probably never been the smartest person in every room I've been in, but I try to be the kindest. And so I think just following the tenets of my faith is what is, gets me coming to work every day. I've had a number of jobs. I've worked for a number of elected officials. I've had really cool opportunities in my adult life. This is the most rewarding job I've ever had, because I can see not my direct. I'm again the career specialist. They're the ones that are doing the biggest work, but I have a small part to play in that, and I'm glad to play it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I know, as a man of faith as well, sometimes it's not the easiest to share about, your faith in a business setting or anything along those lines. But I truly appreciate you being open and vulnerable around that, because I would echo a similar circumstance for what does motivate me. And one of the reasons that my wife and I decided to start our business was because of our desire to go out and help and serve our community in a way that was truly impactful. So, Chuck, we are nearing the end of the show now, and something we always like to do is offer a meal from my wife and I's company, More Than a Meal, to make an impact on a team member of yours. So is there anybody that stands out to you that you would like to bless with a gift of a meal after the show?
Well, there are several. I'd love to send one to all 6,000 of our students, which we know budgetarily that won't work.
We can work with you on that budget.
And it's kind of like asking me which of my children I love the most. So I do have a name in mind, and we will talk off air about that person, but he's done an amazing job and probably doesn't want his name to be mentioned publicly, but
fair.
I do have someone in mind and would love to be able to. He's suffered some personal tragedy and is so positive and resilient that I would like to bless him with the meal.
Well, I love that and can respect that at the same time. So after the show, we'll definitely touch base and make sure that we can get that meal released to him soon, so that he knows that you have you truly care, want to show that care for him in that way. So Chuck, last thing before we kind of sign off here, if anybody wants to learn more about Jag K, run up to you at the Royals game, or figure out ways that they can help from a funding perspective, what's the best way for them to reach out to you to get more information?
Well, my email address is probably the best way, and that is chuck.knapp@jagkansas.org. Our website is jagkansas.org, and you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook. Just search up Jag Kansas or Jag K.
Will do. And if anybody's having a hard time finding Chuck, just shoot me a message. I'd be happy to get you connected with him as well. Chuck, again, so grateful for you to come on this show. Loved learning more about Jag K and just the impact that you are having on the state of Kansas and the individuals that truly need your help. So I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Enjoy the game on Friday in that Buck O'Neill seat. And I hope you guys just get a lot of wonderful exposure through that. So with that, we have reached the end of the show. We come to you guys every single Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Time with the purpose of truly highlighting individuals that are making a difference in their organization or ways to make positive impacts on organizations. So next week, we'll be here on October 5th. We're going to be interviewing Dr. Paul White. So I don't know if you guys have heard of the 5 love languages, but Dr. Paul has partnered with Gary Chapman, the author of that book, to bring you the 5 languages of appreciation, which is really focused on helping in the workplace. So I'm really excited to dive in on some of the stages of appreciation that he has talked about in his book, and allowing you guys to learn different ways to show appreciation to your team that truly does make an impact. So we will be back next Thursday with that. So until next time, have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will talk to you later.